Good evening, everyone. Memento Mori. Happy month of Mort to you all. Thank you for joining us for this evening's workshop on a continuation of Death to Death taboos. I'm Madame Mori, the founder and leader of Morticism, a death-positive, non-death denying spiritual orientation. And tonight we're going to enhance our lives by infusing full death awareness into them. Despite what you've been taught, death is not a threat. Quite the opposite. Death is the key that unlocks the door to true happiness. Mozart said that. How could Mozart have said such a thing? Well, because he'd found the magic flute that made him dance his way through life. The tune that flute plays is a death march, a memento mori, a reminder that someday each and every one of us will lose our Wi-Fi connection to this body, and our spirit will waltz into another dimension. Think about what common elements you see in each of these paintings of Memento Moris. Fruits. What else? Serving vessels, yes. Fine china. A chalice, yes. Oh, a candle. And what did you notice about the flowers? Same with the fruits. Wilting, rotting, yes. Why do you think all of these objects were selected? What were they selected to symbolize? Yes, I kind of set you up for that answer. Death, exactly. Well, Memento Mori is clearly a Chinese word. You're right, it's Latin. And it means a reminder that you will or must die. Sounds sounds threatening? Well, it would be if you're walking around with a lot of death taboos on board. But that's what we're here to work on. A memento mori is a painting, an altar, or a shrine like tableau, a photograph, or some kind of collection of symbolic objects that reminds the person looking at them that they will die sooner or later. Because no one escapes death. These kinds of displays became popular in the 17th century to encourage people to live their best lives before it's too late. It's kind of a version of a vision board. Well, kind of similar, because they're designed to motivate you. A memento mori reminds you that death is coming and reminds you to be ready. Oh, so you'd like to know how you can create your own memento mori? I was hoping that you would ask that. Alright, to create your own memento mori, you will need something like a canvas, if you'd like to make a painting or some visual art, or a display space, maybe a tabletop, such as would be used for an altar. Or if you'd like to make a photo collage, you could use a camera, use a printer, and you could print poster-sized images or small images that you would assemble together to make your collage. Something else that you would need to make a memento mori is a healthy perspective on your own mortality. You'll also need symbolic objects that will consistently, powerfully, and instantly remind you that you will die. Symbolic objects of the fleeting nature are also helpful reminders of this fact. Possibly organic objects that wilt, fade, rot, decompose, like flowers, fruits, paper, wood. You can also add to your memento mori objects that are symbolic of all of our earthly, corporeal pursuits. Things that we pay attention to during our lifetimes that are fleeting, ephemeral. Before my spirit friends and I send you off to collect some death reminder symbols for your memento mori, and before we start arranging and assembling those symbolic objects into a meaningful display, a quick note about aesthetics. As you've seen from these examples from art history, memento mori paintings in particular, these death reminders can be very aesthetically pleasing, beautiful at times, but they do not need to be. The goal of creating a memento mori is not to create a work of art, unless you're so inclined or commissioned. No, do not worry excessively about aesthetics, except consciousness. What's that? What kinds of symbolic objects can be used to remind you of your own death? Well, a myriad of objects. Some commonly used objects include skulls, also bones, skeletal remains of animals and other critters. Now, a little disclaimer here. It is illegal to be in possession of human remains, and unethical and cruel to do harm to an animal for these purposes. So we here at Moratorium Media and Inner Spaceways Incorporated strongly advise against the inclusion of these objects in your Memento Mori, especially when so many synthetic replicas of human or other animal skeletal systems are readily available on the market. If you feel these objects are essential and beneficial for remembering that you must die, photos of dead people are also powerful inclusions in your shrine to your own mortality. As you can see here, I have some photographs of the dead from different periods of history, dating back to the early invention of the camera, to remind me of how time passes. To remind me of how time passes. Fashions change. So do lifestyles. Death remains certain. So time passes. Lifestyles change. Fashions change. But all of us are headed for death. Another really neat idea people have been doing lately is using an app that shows them what they'll look like when they're old. You can use such an app to produce a photo of your near-death self, presuming that you'll die of old age, which many or most do. And you can print out this image of you and include it in your Memento Mori. If you choose this kind of death reminder, you get the added bonus of a reminder to practice effective skincare, stay out of the sun, wear sunscreen, moisturize, 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 and eat your superfoods packed with antioxidants. You also get a daily reminder in your inbox to live your life and not procrastinate. To make that bucket list and start plowing through it. To find the most powerful symbols of death for you. To find those powerful symbols means digging into your own psyche and finding all those images and entities and symbols that signal to you that this life here is nearing an end. Traditionally, the Grim Reaper has been a symbol that your time on earth is up. But ask yourself, as someone living in a post-agricultural society, if that symbol really has any impact on you, or does it seem kind of cartoonish? So you get the idea of what kinds of items your Memento Mori must contain to zap you every time with a death reminder. Remember, the more specific to you these death objects and symbols are, the less likely you are to allow yourself to pretend that you're exempt from death. Your Memento Mori may also contain Vanitas objects. Vanity objects in American. Reminders that everything you do, achieve, learn, acquire, etc. on this planet will be snatched from you at the moment of death. All human creations fade and are eventually forgotten. Some of them degrade into dust, into nothingness ultimately. Including Vanitas objects in your Memento Mori encourages your detachment from earthly, rustable, decomposable, and mortal objects, concerns, titles, and achievements. But they can also motivate you. Vanitas objects can also motivate you to strive to leave a living legacy, creating things that you can donate to every generation that comes after you. In addition to these standard elements in a Memento Mori, you are encouraged to select objects of symbolic personal significance. For example, in each of my Memento Mori, and I have one in every room of my house, even in each of my closets, in my car, in my backyard, I included the ashes from a lock of my own hair. For me, my hair is representative of a certain part of my personality. It also represents youthfulness, health, vitality, even though hair is actually dead. I'm sorry, what's that? Oh, I see. So you feel that you don't have you feel that, if I heard you correctly, even though you feel that you could benefit from having a Memento Mori in your life, a reminder, a daily reminder that your life will come to an end, a reminder to motivate you to make the most of this life. You don't have the time or the energy or the skills or creativity to create one. I think that's what I heard you say. But you said you do have the money to buy one. Interesting. Well, serendipity was looking out for you. We had you and other people like you in mind when we designed our pre-made Memento Mori collections, as well as our easy assembly kits available on our website at moratorium.com. Be be sure to browse our selection of classic, romantic, surrealist, modernist, and absurdist made-to-go Memento Mori kits. Also, check out our vast selection of Christian, Muslim, Jewish, Hindu, Wiccan, astrological, Buddhist, Confucian, Rastafarian, Gnostic, pagan, yogic, Ayurvedic, Christian Science, and many, many other new religious movements, Memento Mori in a bag kits. That interests you? Wonderful. If you'd like to take your Memento Mori with you everywhere you go until you don't, we have a very exclusive collection of Memento Mori rings, lockets, bracelets, phone cases, wallets, purses, mugs, serving trays, and special occasion chalices. We also have chime and LED clocks that call out, "You must die," every hour on the hour. And as you're perusing our selection of customizable Memento Mori collections, remember that you can't take your money with you. So why not spend it while you still can? I hope you feel as inspired by your own inevitable death as we do. Thanks for joining me and my spirit friends. I'm Madame Mori, the matron de mort, the death positive activist, medium, scholar, death party planner, death coach, estate planner, soul guide, spirit whisperer, embalmer, mortician, funeral director, death historian and death futurist, public speaker, entrepreneur, artist, and art collector, among many, many, many other things. I hope you've gained something, some kind of insight from this powerful workshop, something useful in remembering your own death. If you like this workshop, be sure to join us for the other non-death denying events we have in store. Bye for now, and Memento Mori, remember, one day you will die. So carpe diem, carpe noctem, seize your blessed, precious, limited time only life.